To those that responded to this video with succinct answers, props to you. Me, I'm not one of those motherfucking people.
What is good, people, and welcome on another episode. And if you are joining for the very first time, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you all for your constant support. There's this creator on TikTok who made a video directly to the women, telling them that at the end of the day, they will have no choice than to settle because good men like himself are not that much out there anymore. And at the end of the day, they will have no choice than to settle. You guys already know what is about to happen when conversations like this comes up. A lot of women came for him, like they literally drag him. I'm not sure he was ready for the amount of drags that he's receiving, but he is still standing on his stake that a lot of women will have to settle, and this sparked a conversation. I love the fact that so many men as well turn up for this and drop their few cents, and a lot of them are not in support of what he said. Because why exactly do they think they have a need to tell women to settle? So without wasting much time, let's just get right into it.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here. It ain't even enough of us around, like, let's be honest. So at the end of the day, we can go ahead and put that 50-50 conversation to rest, because every woman ain't gonna get 80, 20, 100, 0, whatever y'all thinking is gonna be 60, 40. Some of y'all gonna have to go 50-50, and shit, y'all might gotta go 60-40 on your end with the man, just to be happy at the end of the day. Like, let's be realistic. Come on now. Somebody gonna have to settle, man. That's all I'm saying. All the straight men that's left in the world, a lot of them is in jail. A lot of them married. What do that leave left? Everybody can't have they cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you gotta just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful. Because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable. Come on now. J. Cole said, love yours. I gotta take this in consideration. Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
To those that responded to this video with succinct answers, props to you. Me, I'm not one of those motherfucking people. For one, men that make videos like this do nothing but project their own loneliness and their own loser mentality on the people. And at this point in time, there's nothing wrong with you owning the fact that you're a bum. Now, when it comes down to loser ass men like this saying, women, y'all have no choice but to settle, look your mother in the eye and ask her if your father was a result of her settling, and if you are the consequence of her settling. Because if your mom has told you she didn't like your dad, and yet here you are nothing but the result of her settling. And for you to fix your raggedy, crooked ass mouth to say, oh, women, y'all ain't got no choice but to settle. We do have a choice. We can just leave y'all the fuck alone. Men have such a hard time admitting that they are the reason that they are lonely. Y'all are so quick to say, well, women are the problem. Women holding you accountable means that we know that you can be better. But y'all always look at what we say as an attack because you were not mentally taught to understand that when people hold you accountable, that is not an attack. It's not even an expectation. We just see better in you. But y'all are so quick to label something an attack. That lets us know that you were probably just enabled your whole life. And women don't have time to raise you up to be her son that she has sexual access to. That's pretty much kind of sounding like your mom seeing you as her man, calling you her king, and you were only 7 years old. That's fucking weird. You want women to infantilize you, sexualize you, and expect you to be disrespectful and have weaponized incompetence and still say that we fucking love you. Are you fucking kidding me? Y'all don't want a woman that wants you out of happiness, out of love, out of joy, out of peace. You want a woman to want you because she's desperate and lonely. And a lot of women don't operate like that anymore. We just don't. Y'all have the running joke of calling single women potential cat ladies. Cats make you earn their love. Cats legitimately have way more loyalty than a trash ass man ever could. I mean, cats, disrespectful man. A cat, a loser. Cat, a guy that has weaponized incompetence. Cat, a guy with mommy issues and expects you to feed him from your bosom so that way he can feel some sense of attachment because he's too pussy to admit that he needs to grow the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these loser ass men don't even want to admit, but the only piece of property that they ever have had was that desperate ass pick me woman that was either willing to abandon her kids or even abandon her self esteem because she has none. And the only way that she has self esteem is if she's under a man. That's not a brag. To be connected to desperate people, you should really be careful about that because desperate and lonely people will only make sure that their needs and their satisfactions are met. You will literally just be an expendable piece of shit that they will toss to the side, even hurt. Desperate people don't just operate out of a sense of sadness. Rage can also feed them too. So while you're over here making these videos talking about why women should settle, let me just remind you of something. Watch Snapped. There's a lot of women that chose to fucking settle, and a lot of those men are gone. Stop putting women in this fucking tired ass conversation of y'all being losers. Okay? Just because you don't have the balls to look yourself in the mirror and say you need to grow the fuck up does not mean that you have to pick your phone up, hit record, and tell women to fucking settle. Okay? Until your mother answers that question, shut the fuck up. Stop quadrupling down on your own fuckery because you are not capable of understanding that men are their own problem. Period, point blank. Women legitimately can't even go outside and just pray to make it home because y'all don't know how to handle the word no. But yet we're emotional. But yet we're the ones that need to settle. You know how many men have left women all because he heard a woman fart? She snores. Men have no problem saying, oh, well, this woman here, she just won't it. She had a bunion on her big toe. But yet, I met Tasha. That's the one for me. A lot of y'all find y'all's manhoods on using women as stepping stones so you can say that you've elevated as a man. When in fact, you can't even just do that on your own. A lot of women, when they leave men, a sane woman elevates when she reflects on her life and reflects on her dating choices and says, I'm not going to settle. And a lot of y'all even have daughters. A lot of y'all are teaching y'all daughters to have better mentalities, to want better for themselves, while in the same breath, you want women to settle for a loser like you. Do you not understand that you're part of the problem? You're part of this problematic cycle that just seems to never end. Stop picking your phone up. Stop hitting the record button to talk shit, then put a fucking caption above your bitch ass head, and stop putting it in the caption when it asks you what the fuck you want to add, and ultimately stop fucking hitting the upload button. At this fucking point, find something else to talk about. Okay? Find something else to talk about.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
I did not know men were this delusional, but let's talk about it. So I come from a family of women, majority of them are married. And majority of them died alone. And the reason why they died alone is because they outlived the men that they married. So as women, we have no choice but to get comfortable with the idea that we will most likely die alone because we tend to outlive men. And we don't just outlive them by a few years. We outlive them for a very long time. So I think women need to get used to the idea of dying alone because men die and they die fast. This is also why I think men are super delusional because they take their sweet time to settle down, and I don't think they understand how close to death that they really are. And I'm not saying it to be shady, I'm saying it because I've witnessed it. Men don't live long. It's sad, but they don't live long. I can also tell that the man in this video most likely was raised by a single mother and he's projecting what he witnessed on women online. But the reality is, married or not married, the potential of you dying alone is just likely simply because you're a woman and you live longer than men.
Most of y'all are gonna have to settle. Most of y'all women are going to have to settle.
Ladies, for the love of Christ's sake, please, I am begging you, please stop having babies. with these low caliber morons, okay? Most of them, all of them, do not deserve your body or a baby. Please reject procreation with them. Let these motherfuckers die out. Go extinct. I'm so tired of seeing mediocrity up in here. They are just taking up space, taking up air. We can do without them. Now these fools feel entitled to a romantic relationship with a woman. Dating is not a priority, it's a privilege.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
Young man, I'm gonna need you to listen really quick because no heat to you, my guy, okay? But let's be honest. Stop threatening women that they're going to die alone as a threat. Women congruently came together and they were like, you know what, I'd rather be alone and die alone than have to deal with your bullshit, okay? We already know, statistically, men die before women. Women are going to outlive men. We've seen it with our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our uncles, our aunts, and all that bullshit. Women have accepted long before you even brought up this idea that they were going to have a married person, they're going to marry a man, and they were going to outlive them. Secretly and subconsciously, they knew that. I.e., they're going to die alone anyways. So why would they suffer why would they suffer? You know what I'm saying? From the womb to the tomb. It don't make no sense for them. You are afraid of dying alone. You are terrified of thinking that if you don't have your legacy, if you don't have your kids, who's going to hold your hand when you fucking die? There's no guarantee that there will be there for you anyways. If you're a terrible person, kids will disconnect from you left and right. It's just how it is. And it's also happening vice versa as well. You get what I'm saying? So get real with yourself, my guy. You know what I mean? Like if you are afraid of dying alone, meet that mortality at the crossroads and be like, why? Why am I so afraid of this? You know, why have women accepted it, but not me? Really understand that women do not give a shit and they have decided to churn in their chits for a loving life with kids and this and this and that because they realize, and we started seeing on this app and other apps that all that's a fucking lie. All of it's a lie. Men are not stepping up to the plate like they used to back in the day, right? Because women got rights and women are doing their thing, and as well they should have. Now men and women need to come to a partnership. See, I'm a gay man and I have, a gay relationship. So there's a partnership because there has to be. There is no other way for it to go. But y'all are at this point where now you're becoming equal and these men are flipping the fuck out because they don't know what to do. So let's just reiterate. Young man, you are afraid of dying alone. Stop threatening them with the same thing that's threatening you. You're terrified, not them. Find a different way. Maybe be a better person. Who knows?
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen.
Or, and I want you to listen carefully, okay, when I say this. Or, we could be single. Because that's the best option. Like, nobody's so pressed to have a man in their life wreaking fucking havoc that we would just go out and just pick one up off the street. And then y'all project this whole misery and being lonely and all this stuff due to singleness. And I really do think that that's a male thing. Like, I don't think a lot of women are just super duper miserable. I think we have 1 week throughout the month where we're like, want a man. But that's it. The rest of the month we be chilling, paying attention to our hobbies, going back to school and shit, getting degrees, focusing on promotions, doing extra training to get the promotions, all this other stuff. Like, we have so much stuff going on. Nobody's just sitting in the house just thinking like, oh man, I'll take anything that God brings me just to have a man, please. It's never that serious. Like me, myself, currently, I am happy as fuck by myself. I get to control everything that's going on in my home. There's nothing here stressing me out. There's no one here stressing me out. There's no one here expecting me to cook for them when I don't feel like cooking. There's nobody here trying to touch me when I don't feel like being touched. Why would I go out into the world and pick a man who is not going to come in here and make my life better? Why would I go out and pick a man that I had to settle for when I could just stay single? Settling is so much more of a hassle than being single. No. Just hang it up. Stop giving us this terrible ass advice. We're okay by ourselves, okay? All right, bye.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but
No, because if I settle, that means you're doing the bare minimum. And I have multiple people to take into consideration. I have myself, I have my dog, and I have my future kids. If I'm allowing you to treat me like the bare minimum, that means you're treating me like that, you're going to treat my dog like that, and you're going to treat my kids like that. I don't want my future children to think that that's okay or accepted. I don't want my boys to think that that's okay to treat their partner, and I don't want my girls to think that's something that they should be expecting. So no. I would rather be single for the rest of my life because I know that I'm not going to treat myself like the bare minimum, and I'm not going to treat my dog like the bare minimum. So, no.
What do you guys think about what this man said? Every 2-3 market days, they always come online to come and remind women that they have to settle, or to come and remind them that they are going to be alone, to come and remind them that they should not know their worth, to come and remind them that they have to accept whatever comes their way. Every 3 market days, there are content like this. They are just people dedicated to just get it out of women. And I love the fact that every single person who is teaching this video is almost speaking the same language. They are telling him that he is projecting, and while he's talking about being worried about women, being alone or dying alone or being just alone by themselves, he should literally be looking at himself in the mirror, because he will probably be in that situation, and he's trying to project that because he's waking up to the reality that that is about to be his own view life. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these people who will just come online, come and say BS to women and make it seems like I'm giving them an advice. Let me hear your take on what he said, and let me know what you guys think about what these teachings as well have to say. Make sure to subscribe before you go, and make sure your bell notification is turned on as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, and I love you guys.